Good morning, gang. Happy Sunday morning from a recovering Tennessee. We didn't have tornadoes here, but boy, we got some rain last night. It's still raining. To the folks in Clarksville where the tornadoes hit, please send prayers out to those folks. From what I've seen, at least here at 5:30, we have 3 deaths, a lot of destruction, and just not happy mornings for people. Let's put it that way. Americans as a whole are struggling, and we know that. I'm going to get into that in a second, but before I start this morning, I want to give you a little story on something that warmed my heart. Started out as a disaster and actually might turn out to be something good. Last night on the live stream, we had a giveaway of a couple of solar-powered lithium-ion coolers. You know how we do giveaways every once in a while. So, okay, same way as always, draw somebody on a random comment generator. And YouTube has tried to confuse the matter by changing people's handles, whatever your pseudonym is that you use to comment on, and not changing them simply. Okay, and as we all do it, you make a comment under a video and it shows as one name, but you make a comment on a chat on a live stream and it shows differently. And there's no way for anybody to really connect the two quickly to make sure it's the same person. If you guys have watched my live streams and giveaways, you kind of know what I'm talking about. So last night we had a snafu, and we had drawn a name, and somebody with a different handle in the chat room than what had come up as the comment made under the previous day's video said that was them. And that was Simple 2708 or Simple 1. Okay. And sure, you look at it and go, okay, they're close, different numbers. Well, different numbers means it's different. And so I moved on and picked the second name. And of course, when we picked the second name, it was different again. So I looked and compared, because I can click on the three little dots. Sure enough, the name and the @ were different on the person's homepage. So I went back and I looked at Simple 1's. Sure enough, Simple 1 was Simple 2708. Okay. Thanks, YouTube. You messed everything up again. But so in the interest of making it fair, okay, because I didn't know, now we had 3 winners. And I said everybody on the live stream, I guess didn't call that YouTube's error, which by default makes it my error. And so I was going to purchase another cooler to send to the winner. And of course, the generosity of a lot of you guys in the live stream last night decided to help me. And I mean, contributions, $5 here, $10 here, $50 a couple of times. You guys sent them in as super chats. You sent them to me as cash app donations or whatever. And I greatly appreciate it. So after the live stream last night, the person, Simple 2708, got back with me, had watched the rest of the video. They were driving as can, so they didn't get a chance to see the whole video. So they watched it afterwards. And they said to me, don't worry about it, And I'm like, no. That's not how things work. Okay. I'll correct this mistake. I want to make it right. They sent me an email back, and I won't give you the very beginning of it because they identify their name there, and I'm not going to violate their OPSEC, but I'm going to read you the rest of their email. It says, I do appreciate all you do for the community and for all you help. I cannot accept you to pay for something that wasn't even your fault. I look forward to your videos each day. I'd much rather prefer any donations that were made for the cooler go to those who are in greater need than I. I'm fully employed, and although not wealthy, I'm doing okay. I'd rather see it donated to your Christmas fund or to Caleb House. You're a blessing to all who you help, and I'd like to pay it forward for those who are truly in need. Okay. Now, for those of you that watched the video, you know put the state in which you live in, and ironically, yesterday it was put your favorite charity in there. Well, last night I got $90 worth of Cash App donations, and we had, what was the total? $439 roughly. It was like $438.94 or something like that in super chats. Now, after YouTube takes their 40% cut out of super chats, that left us $353.40. So this morning, that $353.40 that you guys donated to go for Simple 2708's cooler went to her favorite charity, which is Grindstone Ministries and Caleb House, which is, for those of you guys know, that's run by Bear Independent. Okay. So again, thank you guys for doing that. We actually helped out another group yesterday or this morning, and as I told Simple 2708, thank you for doing that, because there are many people who would bitch up a storm, and Simple 2708 took the high road. Okay. And I greatly appreciate that, because one of the biggest reasons of this channel is to help each other. Okay. I don't know 99.99% of you guys, and 99.99% of you have never met me. Okay? You know me as a face on YouTube, that's it. But still, we try to help each other. I mean, in any way possible. Today, a lot of you guys know, today is the big shopping trip to go buy all the food to help the local food bank. It warms my heart to see that there are still people in this country who practice a little bit of selflessness, okay? Who will actually do something for the benefit of others rather than just for the benefit of themselves. It restores my faith in humanity just a little bit, that we aren't completely heathens anymore as humanity. That sometimes we do consider others who are less fortunate than we are. Okay. As bad as life is, or as good as life is for somebody, there's always going to be somebody who has it worse, and there's always going to be somebody that has it better. Okay? It's just the way life works. Over the course of the last few weeks, collectively, we have all raised, this is our final total, $14,675.21 for the food drive today, the animal shelter and toy drive. Okay. The way it's going to break out is about $9,000 for food, about $5,000 going to the animal shelter, and $1,250 going toward the toy drive. That was based on how y'all had requested the money be divvied up via the survey I put up on the community board a few weeks ago. But I want you to give this as a thought. Okay. Some people were able to donate quite generously on this channel. Other people, maybe not. Okay. The family here covers the gamut from, I don't want to say wealthy, because there's no one percenters here or something like that, but higher income to lower income. And none of us look at each other and go, oh, gee, you're one of those rich guys, I don't want to deal with you. Or, oh, you're on the lower end of the spectrum. Here, we're all equals. And that's the way, it should be, at least personally. This year has been tougher than last year for most. Incomes are down, prices are up. We all know that. I mean, hell, Mrs. P and I were going through our finances here, and I mean, my income, what we made, okay, was down 15% from last year. Prices go down 15%? No, they went the other way. Okay? So it hits everybody. Not that Mrs. P and I are worried about putting dinner on the table. We're still fine. Don't worry about anything like that. There's benefits to living what I talk. Okay, house paid off, no bills, things like that. You can take a hit in the income when you don't have that much in the way of bills. But that's not the majority of people. Okay. Like I said, going to the food bank tomorrow with everything that we buy today, I'm going to give you this. In 2014, okay, 10 years ago, 1 in 7 American households needed the food bank to put food on the table. 1 in 7. It's a lot. In 2020, that number was 1 in 5. We're now at 20% of the American public. In 2023, currently, it's 1 in 4. 1/4 of this country needs a food bank to eat. And we're a first world country. Okay. I told you guys yesterday, it was 2020 when the economic dispersion split, where in 2020 it changed to 1% now holds more assets, money, cash, land, whatever, stocks, bonds, etc., than the 99% below them. Okay. That's when more than 50% of your country's wealth is owned by 1% of the population. That's a problem. Now, I'll give you this. Currently, 64% of the country, nearly 2 out of every 3 people, are living paycheck to paycheck. That's not the groundwork for a successful economy. Okay? 53% of the American public, more than half, do not have $400 in savings. Okay. You start to think about that, what we prep for and what we try to help other people do. We all prep for the bad times that, oh my God, Joe's going to blow up the economy. Joe's going to get us in a war. More illegals are going to come across the border and burn, loot, murder everybody. China's going to hit us with an EMP. And we all worry about and make efforts to put something away so that when those bad times happen, we have a little modicum of senility, being sane, that we have some food to eat, or, we can turn a light bulb on. But you're talking about 2/3 of the country, half to 2/3 of the country, that time is right now. That they don't know where their next meal's coming from. They don't know if they're going to be able to pay the bill at the end of the month. They don't know how they're going to heat their house. This is why we prep, and it's going to be real interesting as things continue to get worse. You're probably seeing the same things I am. That 2024 is, there's a lot of people calling for 2024 is when we have the straw that breaks the camel's back. Okay? That economically everything collapses, that the grid collapses, et cetera, et cetera. Prognostication, who knows? Okay, nobody's got a crystal ball. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. Okay? Again, prep for the worst, pray for the best, right? If it happens, okay, however ready you are. But you're not going to go into it with blinders on and go, that's not going to happen. This is the thing. Prepping is going to take a community, not built during a disaster. Prepping means building that community, building up all those reserves of whatever it is, whether it's food, whether it's gold and silver, whether it's power, whether it's water, whether it's skills, whether it's whatever. You need to build that up now, because when the balloon goes up, everything changes in a heartbeat. Those neighbors who haven't done anything to prep are going to be at your front door. No question. Those family members who think you're crazy are going to be at your front door. And as much as everybody says, I'm going to turn them away, that's easier said than done, okay? Because they're not just going to turn around with their tail between their legs and go, oh, okay, I'll go somewhere else. They're going to scream and yell and bitch and complain and everything, go, you've got food or you've got water, I need some. And it's going to be real difficult to turn everybody away, especially if they're family. So this is why helping is so important, and keeping doing it, because there's a lot of people who are struggling today. And when you can tell them, what are you going to do when it gets worse? What are you going to do when there isn't a food bank to go to? When there isn't people willing to donate because there isn't anything left to donate? How are you going to get off the reliance of others, whether it's the reliance of the government? Those people are done. They won't make it a week. The ones who think that the government's coming to save them, they might as well just dig a hole, because they are completely in la la land. Right? But the ones who are trying, even if they're failing, if they're at least trying, they have my respect. Because surviving in a situation like we have now with an economy that's collapsing is not easy. All the young kids out there who are basically screwed because of bad policy, bad student loans, that gender studies degree was not exactly the smartest move. Where were your parents to tell you? Where was the school to tell you, hey, you might want to get a degree in something useful? And now you're $100,000 in debt. The ones that are trying, I understand you got your degree in gender studies, you're a barista at Starbucks, okay? You're probably also a cashier at Walmart, and you've also got a part-time job picking up grocery carts out of the parking lot at Target, okay? It's about how useful the skills that degree got you are. They're at least trying. Those people I'm more than willing to help, and I hope you are too. The ones who were sitting there screaming, Joe needs to pay my student loans. Joe needs to give me a house. Those are the ones you kick to the curb. Americans are struggling. We all are. Worldwide, the people are struggling. It's no different in Italy or Germany or England or South Africa or Australia or Timbuktu, for that matter. Right? The economies of the world suck. And everybody's struggling. at least we are trying to do something to help. And that warms my heart because, like I said earlier, to see a little bit of humanity and restoring my faith in it puts a smile on my face. All out.